Yo, what's up everyone? This is Kaizouwar here. Guilty Gear Strive 2.00 or 2.00 is going to be a thing next year, and I can't be happier. I already really enjoy playing Strive, and getting more of it is actually pretty awesome. Because when Arc System Wars do their big updates, they do them really well, right? Like, I think Cross Tag Battle 2.0 is a big, improvement over the original Cross Tag Battle. Obviously stuff like Chrome Phantasma is better than Chrome Phantasma, Continuous System is better than Continuous, all that stuff, you know what I mean? So they do the updated versions pretty well. And I want to talk about some things that I want to see in an updated version. Now, I know they're going to do move adjustments, maybe add new moves to characters, because they were supposed to add more moves to characters. Like, I think in Season 3, and just we don't have them all for every character yet, which is pretty crazy to me. They've been really slow on adding moves to characters that we were supposed to add, but that's beside the point. I don't really know what to say on the gameplay front. I am not an expert on Guilty Gear Strive gameplay. I just like playing the game. So, attacks and stuff, and Gatling reworks, and assault. Obviously, they're going to do change stuff like Wild Assault and stuff like that. But that's like going to be sooner than later. This is going to be like an upcoming Lucy patch, not like later in 2026 where all the major stuff is happening. But outside of like balance changes and character additions, which I can't really speak on because I really only want one character. I've mentioned it many times before. I wanted Aerials, but I've reached a point where Aerials is not even going to be playable. So, there we go. But let me talk about other things I would like to see in Guilty Gear Strive. Now, gameplay, I think is pretty solid. I know there are issues with the game, like gameplay-wise, but I can't really comment on those. So let's talk about stuff I want to see around the game, like, more single-player content. That's like my biggest issue with Guilty Gear Strive. Like, there's just nothing to do in the game outside of, like, the online portion and stuff like that, right? And I know everyone, in the FGC, some people don't care, some people, clamor for it. It's like a 50-50 where or not people actually don't care, just want to play online, or people who actually do care want more people to get into the game. So, I mean, I bought a lot of games before just to play them online, but like after a while, I'm just like, well, I'm kind of bored of that. Let me do something else, and they don't really offer anything else, and that kind of bums me out. Like, Strive I really think the game's fun. It's just there's nothing to do. Arcade mode, you really only need to do once, and on top of that, you don't really get any rewards for doing it multiple times like you could back in XR, because at least in XR, you could get like the world dollar currency, but in Strive, you do one run, you get your world dollars, and then you're done. And that's what sucks, right? I mean, hell, at least in XR, they graded you on the moves you did and gave you more world dollars depending on how your score was. And in Strive, that's just not the case. Which I really think they should add more modes. Like a time attack would be okay, a score attack. Like, I honestly just add score attack and time attack, I'll be okay. Or hell, add MOM back. That might be really unrealistic expectations right there, but I would love to see MOM back, because even though the mode wasn't really like my favorite, I liked the mode enough to play it for a good amount of time, and I really wish they would add something, at least the equivalent in there, I just want more modes, I just want more single player content, I just want something else, and I feel like, single player would also contribute to the story. I have a feeling they're going to do a story update like they did between like XR, Revelator, and Rev 2, where they added 3 new stories, content updates involving other characters in the Guilty Gear universe, which I really liked. I really liked that we saw more stuff with other characters, and hell, we even got kind of a gag reel-esque story mode out of it, which I think is really funny. And I really think that we should definitely get more story updates. Maybe focusing on the characters that released after Baiken and everyone, because like we only get like content on those characters, like Baiken, Sin, because he was DLC, Bedman, the whole Delilah issue that was happening in the extra story mode. We saw characters like Faust and Ramathal who weren't really present at all in the main story mode. So I really feel like we have enough characters to do a new story mode on. Unica's running around. We have characters like Bridget, Testament. Like we have a lot of characters to work with now. Asuka. I mean, Oscar's obviously in the main story mode, duh. But like, it'd be good to see more of him as well. I would just like to see more of these characters. Just more story mode, please. I would be very appreciative of that. All right, so more content, I would say, would be a new story for the DLC characters. Now, this is like separate from the DLC story mode. I would like the arcade mode to at least be updated to maybe add more stuff to it. Because considering that arcade modes, like the dialogue is dependent on like what route you take in the arcade mode. I would really be happy if they just added, like, gave you an option like BlazBlue, where like, hey, if you want to do it on normal, you get this story. If you want to do it on hard, you get this story. If you want to do it on a higher level, like extreme, you get this story. That kind of thing, right? Like, I don't want it to be. I don't think it's gonna be like anything drastic, but I would love, like, you know, incentives to like go to the other arcade modes and get more stuff, because I don't like how arcade mode works in Strive now. That's like another big issue for me. I don't like how if you just lose one match, you will get dropped down a difficulty. I don't like that at all. I really don't like that. So I would prefer, like, maybe we just have the difficulties start before you get into the match. Like, hey, you give like a little list of difficulties you start with, like, you know, beginner, easy, hard, beginner, easy, normal, hard, extreme, stuff like that, right? I think that would be pretty cool, because you get more story, and I love more story for Guilty Gear. And plus, I would love an incentive to at least play the arcade mode again. So why not add some colors? I don't know. Add something at the end of arcade mode outside of, you know, just the story to give people more of an incentive to play it. I would have loved that. I mean, this might be very unrealistic expectations here, duh. But I would like more arcade mode, just more stuff to the arcade mode. You know, maybe add some colors, maybe add like a cutscene like you used to do back in Guilty Gear XR, because I missed those as well. I really missed that. We used to get little scenes at the end. I don't know why they took that out of Strive. I guess they wanted to make it, you know, cheaper. I guess that is cheaper, but still, I don't like how arcade mode works now, and I would prefer to be more like XR, how arcade mode worked in there. All right, let's see, another unrealistic expectation I have for this. The Korean OST. For the life of me, I don't understand why the Guilty Gear Korean OST is so underused, right? Obviously, it was used in the Korean version of Guilty Gear XX. Duh, that's where it came from, right? And then when XX got ported to the Switch, the Korean OST was on there as an incentive to get it, and that's pretty cool, right? But ever since then, you know, the Steam version of Guilty Gear XX doesn't have the Korean version of OST. XR definitely doesn't have it. Strive doesn't have it. So I feel like there'd be a nice time to add it there. I swear to God, in one of these developers' backyards, they said something about adding the Korean OST, but they just never did it yet. So I feel like now it'd be fine. You know, we have enough characters to justify adding a lot of the Korean OST in there. You know, we have plenty of characters from XX already in Strive as of now. So we have plenty of, you know, OST to use. I just really wish that was an option to just play it, just for more music. I love Guilty Gear's music, and more of it would just be a nice thing. You know, why would you deny me more of your good music? Or Guilty Gear, I swear. Like, why would you deny me more of it? I mean, hell, we got stuff like, you know, like ending themes from Guilty Gear XR and stuff like that, which wasn't even present in Guilty Gear XR. Like, you couldn't fight to stuff like Deer Song from Rev 2, right? You couldn't fight the songs like Blank. Those were like ending credit songs for XR, but you can in Strive, which I think was a good change. That was a good option. Hell, there's even non-Daisuke music that wasn't like from games like Guilty Gear Isuka that wasn't in XR that you couldn't fight against that you can do in Strive, and I like that. Like, these are changes I'm happy with. But add the Korean OST, and for the love of God, don't add it to the fishing mode. Please just add it into the game without it being involved with fishing. Please. I hate the fishing mode as enough as it is. I would just rather have it just by default instead of having to spend hours on my life trying to fish for a song. Just please. Anyway, let's see what else. You know, so there's something I want to see if they would bother adding it, and that is weapon skins and costumes. Now, costumes definitely out of the realm of possibilities. I feel like the only reason BlazBlue even has costumes was because Cygames is throwing Arc System Works the money to do so, right? It just makes so much sense. But weapon skins were just done by accident. I think they found out, hey, we can just change the skins of this weapon, and it was fun, and decided to apply it to every character. I don't see weapon skins even happening for Strive, but I would like to see it if they were even attempted. Like, I feel like some stuff from BlazBlue should just be done in Guilty Gear, like Strive. I think the things that people liked about BlazBlue should just be implemented to Strive. Stuff like costumes and, like, you know, I don't know how costumes will even work, because, like, they would have to pick, you know, obviously specific costumes and stuff like that. And on top of that, I just don't see if Arc System Works even have the money to do that. I don't think they even have the money or the time to even do such a thing, because BlazBlue doesn't even have that many costumes as is. They're kind of drip feeding it, which makes sense. You know, it's a lot of hard work. You know, these these character models are very, very detailed and intricate, so I can understand why it takes forever to put a costume on one of them. But I would like to see that. I mean, it may not be. I really don't care about this as much as the other ones, other things I explained, but I would like to see it. You know, it wouldn't hurt to see it. I think weapon skins have a better chance. You know, I would love to see, like, you know, Soul wielding, like, the fire seal again, or his old freaking junkyard dog where it was just a slab of concrete. You know, that would have been fun to see. You know, seeing some of these characters wield their past weapons, or hell, they could wield even entirely new weapons, or characters who don't wield weapons, just maybe they get, you know, new. I don't know. I feel like new skin would probably be a little bit too much for them. But I don't know, add something to them to make it look, at least make them look more interesting. I would like to see that. Even though I think the Stride characters look amazing, I would like to see costumes if it was a possibility, but I don't think it is. Lastly, and I think this has nothing to do with like the game. This has nothing to do with like things I want. But I want to see them attempt a Guilty Gear Strive free edition, like how BlazBlue does it. Because I don't know why, but I feel like it would just make sense to get more people into Strive. Because I can already tell you right now, a lot of people who like Strive, like for the characters and designs and stuff, have not played the game. I could be real right there. And there's nothing wrong with that, you know? I don't think there's anything wrong with that. A lot of people just like the characters, like the lore, like the music. They don't have. I really don't think they have to play the game to enjoy it. I mean, there's some games and stuff like the Trails series where I haven't played, like Trails and Yeast, where I haven't played a single game for them, but the music and the characters look like the music slaps and the characters look awesome, right? So I really think that, you know, a Guilty Gear Strive free edition would probably work. I know the game goes on sale a lot, but that DLC is a lot. Guilty Gear Strive Blazing Edition exists, but that's $90, man. I don't think anyone's going to pay $90 like out the gate for all that. And Blazing Edition doesn't go on sale enough, and the game is still getting content updates. So I can understand why people a little bit hesitant on trying to buy Guilty Gear Strive. So I guess it would just make sense to at least have, when 2.0 comes out, just have a rotating list of characters like how BlazBlue does it. I don't know. I mean, this doesn't really apply to me because obviously I'm going to buy Guilty Gear Strive 2.00 anyway, which I think they're going to probably do as a whole rebuy. You're going to have to rebuy the game like how they did in BlazBlue Fantasy versus Rising, where basically it's a whole new thing. Like, I don't know what else they could really do that I would want personally. I just feel like a lot of stuff is probably going to go to the balance changes, like, you know, character updates and stuff like that, new moves. I don't personally believe they're going to add any more to this that's going to, you know, shock me in any way. But if all these things get in here, I would like it. I know some people want instant kills and stuff like that, and I would like it too, but I don't see them doing it. I mean, at the very least, they could probably do something like BlazBlue, where they have like have some of their supers do like a special scene at the end, like, you know, if the round match is almost over or whatever, they can do like an extra scene, like an extra addition onto the moves itself to make it look fresher, like how BlazBlue does it. It's not a straight up instant kill like the Super Skybound arts, but I would like to see that, you know, just to make the moves look cooler, more dynamic. You know, Guilty Gear Strive has been out for 4 years. I feel like we would need an update to the moves and make them look cooler, you know, make it more flashy, because Guilty Gear is pretty flashy, and I would like to see it even flashier. Arc System Works know what they're doing on the graphics front. I don't have any doubt in my mind they're going to make these moves look cool as hell if they add it on to them. But that's all I really got to say, everyone. I'm sorry if this was more rambly than my usual videos are. I just had to get all these thoughts out there because I really wanted to talk about it. I like Guilty Gear Strive, and I really do like that we're getting a 2.0 version of it with new characters. So we just got to wait and see. You know, it's too early to call out anything, but 2026 is going to be wild. I swear to God it will.